Good morning again, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today. Excuse me, for what I consider to be a pretty important announcement. Unfortunately, as a community, you all know, we have been riddled with recent acts of senseless gun violence, or I should say continuous acts of senseless gun violence in our York. That continues to leave loved ones without family members, individuals with lifelong medical issues, homes and private property damage. And as a community member, as the mayor, as leaders, we're in utter disbelief and shock at times at the recklessness of this type of behavior and what it's creating in our community. Although I'm very, very proud of our police department and the efforts that have led to crime being down by 30%. Just since I took office, crime is down. We have some information in your packets. A source is the FBI uniform crime records that support that. But I know, again, our chief will speak more to that as well. But one crime, one shooting is one too many and totally uncalled for and won't be tolerated. I chose to come to this area, our neighborhood, our community, where we have seen senseless gun violence occurring and homes and individuals impacted by the violence. So it's a bit noisy, but this is our community and this is where we're seeing and we're concerned about. Again, the shooting is uncalled for and won't be tolerated. You all have heard me talk about the calls I get in the middle of the night or in the daytime, whenever, from our police chief about yet another shooting and sometimes even worse, that another life has been lost to the hands of gun violence. These are all people, in many cases, that we know, people that we love, that are either on the giving end of the violence or receiving end of the violence, and neither scenario is a worthwhile position for anyone, and it is a constant heartbreak. I work with the state, the federal government, and others, and lobby our feds and our state legislators to do all that we can to tighten gun laws within sense, just basic common sense. But there's some matters here at home that are important to us that we need to take care of. Many of you may not be aware that Chief Kahley and myself and others, if you will, have been working constantly and consistently with many partners, including the York County District Attorney's Office, the ATF, the FBI, our gun or group violence intervention initiative, and several others to assist in putting an end to this senseless gun violence in our community. Through that effort, we have brought folks together that can help families really deal with this issue. Oftentimes we hear families being scared, unsure what to do. Their youngster, their young person, their loved one is acting in different ways, and they just don't know where to go, where to turn to. We have services and we have help. There is hope. You can get help. There's family counseling available. There's ways to help intervene to get to this young person. And that's what we usually are seeing, the young person before something drastic happens. You just have to be willing to work with us and be part of that. To assist in our efforts, in maintaining the safety of our community, of which I'm charged to do. We stand here today, though, to announce that the City of York is going to be hiring 8 more new police officers. And we will be forwarding that information to City Council for immediate approval in the near future. I want to thank City Councilwoman Judy Ritter-Dixon for being here with us today as an elected official as well. She knows the heartbreak. She lives in the community. She's been part of the community. And she, too, is willing to do all that we can to stop it. You also will see our fire chief here, too. There's a reason for that, and we want to thank him for his support. But again, we're going to be hiring 8 new police officers, and we are hopeful that City Council will approve that as soon as possible. While we know we cannot arrest our way out of this problem, obviously having more police officers, more people on the streets at this particular time, if no other time, is imperative, and it is a step that we must take. In addition, we will be holding a gun buyback event on Friday, October the 27th, 2017 at 6 o'clock at our York City Fire Station number 5, 833 East Market Street. And we want to thank Chief Michaels for his leadership and the willingness to open up the fire station to support that effort. But it is an opportunity for anybody to turn in their guns with no questions asked in exchange for even a gift card from the Villa, if you will. Sneaker Villa, located on South George Street, has stepped up to be a partner with us on this effort, and we want to thank them for their willingness to join us in this effort. Also, this gun buyback event wouldn't be possible without other partners and support. And in a matter of 24 hours, we've been able to make this thing grow even more. But we want to thank the support of our district attorney's office. I want to especially thank Assistant District Attorney Dave Sunday for his leadership and partnership. He took my call right away yesterday, and we started making things happen. So, just to reiterate, folks, this is my community. This is our community, the community that I was born and raised in, and the community that I call home. And just like many of you, I want this gun violence to end. And I'm prepared to utilize all resources that are available to me to do so. As I've stated before, and I'll continue to state, enough is enough. We're trying our best to do our part. Now, we need you. We need our community to try to do your best, to do your part, and help us get these guns off the streets and out of the hands of our young people and our youth. Again, social services are available. All you have to do is give us a call at City Hall. We won't ask any questions. We will help you get the assistance that you need to take back your families and help us take these guns off of the streets. So I'm going to ask Chief Kahley to come up and give a little bit more detail what's happening here. Chief.
Just going to be very brief, but the men and women of the York City Police Department have been working hard every day, every night, taking guns off the street. There's not a week that goes by that our men and women aren't out there making arrests, targeting those individuals that we know are out there committing gun violence, arresting them, taking their guns from them. Unfortunately, we have a lot more work to do. We need help from the community, as we always say. I feel like a broken record a lot of times with what we say, but as the mayor said, we can't arrest our way out of this problem. We need the community's help with everything we're doing. Also, through our group violence intervention program, our members of that are out there every day helping people. Just yesterday, some of our members were assisting some of the individuals we called in with social service help and just family needs. So, as the mayor said, don't feel that you can't reach out to us and give us a hand, because every day our people with the group violence intervention program are out there helping individuals, helping them get the things they need to get back on their feet, and giving them a path to take to try and rid our streets of the violence that's taking place. As the mayor said, we have overall, and we've said it many times, there's a drop in crime that has taken place in the city of York over the last 7-8 years, and we're going to continue to push that trend. Unfortunately, there's individuals within our community that wish to do it harm, and we're going to keep addressing them the best we can. I want to thank the mayor for the willingness to hire the individuals, and hopefully City Council will see the need to support that. We're in a time in our police department right now where when I came on 28 years ago, it was a lot of young people, and all those young people with me are now transitioning out and moving on, so our numbers are constantly shifting. We need to make sure that we have a stable number of officers that can provide the service that we need and this city deserves. So if there's any questions, we'd be happy to take them.
If you had 8 police officers, what does that bring you to?
Brings us to 103.
103.
103.
Yes, sir. Oh, okay. Obviously, that's an operation question, Chief, but as I indicated, from my vantage point, having more men and women on the streets obviously will help out. Again, we can't arrest our way out of this. We need the community's support as well, but from a manpower standpoint, sir?
The biggest thing, and we saw it last year when we had a spike, we had to take our neighborhood units off the street, and we brought them back in in lower numbers than what we had them before, and they're doing a great job. The areas that we've seen the most significant drop in crime numbers have been where our neighborhood units were at and doing their job. So, it's dependent once we get them out on the street on exactly what's occurring, but I want to increase those neighborhood units some more. I mean, the best thing we can do is put boots on the ground in the neighborhoods that are actually out there, not only just arresting people, but doing the things they need to do to stabilize our most needed community.
Would they be walking to beat, or would they be driving?
Our neighborhood officers vary. They walk, they ride bike, they do undercover work, they do regular patrol work. They're assigned to a geographical area, and their job is to figure out what the issues are within that area, know the good people and the bad people, and then find a way to help the good people and deter the bad people. So their job varies.
I mean, there's a big, wide problem that obviously is causing this issue. So, in your mind, what is it that is causing all of this? We've done interaction of drugs that's coming in, fights. What is important?
As I always said, the majority of our violence is associated with groups and with people doing illegal things. And drugs, unfortunately, has a nexus to just about every criminal activity that goes on anymore. It even has a nexus to people's home life problems. When you bring addiction problems, whether it be drugs or alcohol, into the family, it causes issues. So the factors that cause crime in any city, not just York, are so vast, and they're different, and unfortunately people look to the police department to solve those issues, and most often they're core issues that the police department can't really solve. There's other ways to deal with it. There's a lot of social service issues, there's a lot of socioeconomic issues, and the community, as the mayor and I've said many times, has to decide that enough's enough. We need to work on these core issues, and there is help out there. York County is a great place. There's a lot of help out there.
Are gangs enforced?
We call them groups now, Ed, but yeah, I mean, whether it's gang motivated or for the gang itself, most times it's because of the group lifestyle causes violence. What we'll see is a shooting takes place for some strange reason. It would be strange to maybe you and I. One shooting happens because that person belongs to a group. They have been selling drugs, they have access to weapons. That group then takes on the cause of that individual, no matter how small that cause may be, and they start shooting back, and we have this back and forth, and that's when you see our spikes. When we can calm those down and get the right people off the street, then things calm down for us. But we have to find a way to intervene in these spikes very early on and deal with them, because again, we can arrest the people eventually, get them off the street, things calm down, but as soon as something happens again, they can spike back up and they take a life of their own. Yeah.
What exactly do you want from residents?
Wow. I was talking to members of my staff this morning about it and trying to curb my language to be in front of the media about it. And it's not that the language is bad, it's just, anyway. I know, and many in our community know who these miscreants are. I don't know how else to say it. And for whatever reason, there's fear, there's concerns, there's, again, as the chief indicated, lifestyles that people don't want to interrupt. But if you know who these people are, that the one or two individuals that are causing the havoc in our community, we expect you to help us to address this. Government can only do so much, and we're doing our part. We're hiring more officers. We're having the gun buyback. We are providing social services. We are here to meet you and expect you to meet us the other half of the way. So if you're having a problem with an individual in your life, in your home, or you know what's happening on your block, work with us, please. Report that incident. Report it as best as you can. You may think it's a small call that you're making, or it's a small issue that took place, but it's not. It could be a sign of a whole lot of other things, and we're asking you to pick up the phone, give us a call, because these people are the ones that are wreaking havoc on our community. As I indicated when I started, crime is down, major crime is down in the city of York. You all haven't reported it that way too much, and that's okay. I gave you information today so that you can, but stats show that crime is going down in the city of York. But when you live here and you hear the gunshots, and you know the victims that are involved, you don't care about those stats, and we get that. But at the same time, we need you to work with us and share what you do know, so that this violence can be curbed once and for all.
Mayor, what do you want to say to some of the residents?
I think I just said it, Ed.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'm driving by today because I'm off work of a job that I've worked for 41 years. Because somebody kicked my back door in yesterday and stole my laptop while my 20-year-old daughter was in the house asleep. So now I don't want to be brought out of, I don't want to hurt somebody, but if you're going to come through my door, it sounds like you're not going to give me much of a choice. Now, I just reported it to the police. Okay, I've made the minimum repair of replacing the glass. Now I'm going to have to put up some kind of caging, fencing kind of thing on this door, which is an eyesore in my opinion. This is not the city of Philadelphia, and I don't really want to have bars on my house. But it looks like we're going that way. But the part that scares me the most is that my child was in jeopardy. The laptop can be replaced, but also, Ms. Mayor, I do not want to harm one of these people. But if they don't give me a choice, what are my options as a homeowner when somebody is breaking in my house? And I am a licensed firearm owner. So my issue is, like I said, I'm driving past you today. I just happened to see you. Because I was going to call you to talk about this, about the additional patrols or something during the day. Because I'm going all day. Like I said, I've been working the same job for 41 years. I've been doing the right thing. My home is almost paid for. And now, after living in that house for 25 years, somebody's kicking my door in. We got a real problem, and I don't want to be caught in the whirlwind. My pastor says it's a shame to drown in shallow water, and I'm about to walk up on the beach and retire. And I'd like to stay in this community if at all possible.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate you stopping, Rick. And that's the kind of thing that we're tired of. Our great citizens in this city being victims of this senseless stuff. And everything from drugs, as the chief indicated, to who knows what the reason was. The need for money to supply something is probably the root of that issue. I don't know. Obviously, the chief is here, and we'll definitely talk with you a little bit more to make sure your issues are being addressed. And we will do that with anyone. Chief Kahley has given out his cell phone number many times over. I have as well. We stand here to work with our citizens who are trying to have a decent lifestyle and home here. And there's those sorts of things, Rick, that I don't have an answer to. But I'm sure if this happened in the daytime, somebody's seen something. And we need somebody to work with him.
Around 11 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly, to talk about this. So.
I'm going to work. I can't be at home, and I have an alarm system, but usually when somebody's in the house, you don't turn it on.
Right.
And my house is locked up pretty good. They had a lot of difficulty. They were able to get to a laptop, but that was the extent of it. And now I'm going to fortify it even more. But the principle here is, whatever their issues are, I'm a peace-loving man, but when you come to my home, when you come to my door, I feel I have the right to defend my property, and especially the property don't mean as much to me as the life of my child.
I understand. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
That's the kind of stuff we're trying to stop, folks, and we need your help to work with us. I thank everybody for coming out today. And I know, Rick, everybody's running your way now. So my press conference is obviously over, but the chief and I are around to address any other questions or concerns you all might have. Again, thank you for coming today.